All right, hi there. Good evening, Danitza. Thanks for being in today's class. How are you? How do you feel today?
Hi, Nicholas. Everything's good. Thank you.
Great. That's great to know. Let's begin, please, with today. We started a new course, so we're going to do the usual. I'm going to start by sharing the link to join the new course on Google Classroom, and I'm going to show you some things that you have to take into account over here. All right, so let's join, please. Let me know when you are over there. It is going to be, and actually, it's already in the chat.
Um, yes, I
Yes,
see.
are you here? Let me
Yes.
check. No, not yet. And just give me a second. It's just that a previous student is over here. Okay, I see you now. Let me see if I didn't delete you from the class. Yes, you are here. Great. Now, here it's the usual, Danitza, you know how this works, but you have some extra things. And as perhaps this is going to be again, right, the last course, I'm going to give you more things to do. So again, you're not going to sleep perhaps, right? But it's going to be good. It's going to be good for you and for your practicing. You only have one. Usually, again, as I told you this in previous courses, it was more. But I'm going to give you actually two main tasks, all right, for these 8 days. You're going to look for the way in which you're going to organize your time, okay? But it's only two things, okay? One thing that it's and actually we're going to choose now this together is that you're going to pick one of these articles. These are scientific articles that you have to read, all right, in this course. You are going to present something at the end of the course. So remember, it's 8 days, but if we count the 8 days, all right, just in case, all right, then it's my birthday is in October, it's very soon. So I want my present. But if we have 8 days, this is the first one, second, third one, fourth one, sixth one, seventh, and eighth. Monday the 23rd. Okay, you have 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks. And these articles are not that long, but you have to read the complete article. All right, and they are not easy. So you have to be careful with reading them. But you're going to give me like a report, all right? But it cannot be a report on ChatGPT, right? It's going to be a report and it's going to be an oral report as well, all right, as some questions and so on. Again, I want to really work with that, Danita, because to me it's important to see also how you're working with your reading skills, because I have not been able to evaluate that again, unfortunately, because I cannot apply all the things that I used to apply or I can apply in the courses that I mentioned, right, in the previous course, like the writing reading course, in which I have a specific time dedicated for reading and to evaluate that. I didn't have that, but again, to have an idea at least and to give you a short feedback before you finish with me, and you can continue working on that on your own, this is going to be a good element for me. All right. So again, all in all, you're going to give me a short about the details. I'm going to give you the details not today. All right, but it's going to be a short writing report and an oral report. Okay, briefly, it would be between 5 and 10 minutes that you're going to spend explaining some specific details that I'm going to ask you about the reading. Okay, but those specific details that I'm going to ask you are going to be asked only at that moment. All right, you should be ready by reading the article in general. But of course, I'm not going to look right for the details or things that you shouldn't know. It's going to be general, but from specific parts in the article. I don't know if you have any questions about that first, Danitza. Let me know, please.
I think that there's absolutely looks Interesting. Just
Okay, I cannot hear you very well. I don't know if it's your microphone, but it's not even locked. It's kind of far and very like a low volume.
mm, maybe no.
I believe that
I
it's
don't
better. Yes, it's like sometimes I can hear you well, but it's like the microphone is going like here and sometimes it's here and here. But tell me something, please. I'm going to listen. Like
I think the pitch, called absolute pitch, it could be chess.
okay, good. But you're telling me that, right? But you don't have questions then, right? About what you have to do with the articles.
No, I don't.
Okay, okay, good. Then absolute pitch. All right, that's good. It's an interesting one, yes, but you have to take everything into account. I'm going to open for you. All right, I'm going to open this for you. You know that I'm into music, so I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about this. All right. But
Okay.
it's interesting. It's beautiful, right? It gives clear examples, but of course, there's a lot of scientific and academic language, right? And you really need to pay attention to that. But I believe that you're going to learn very interesting things. But perhaps you already know, right? But the connection. Do you know, for example, how you correlate Mandarin Chinese with absolute pitch?
No.
Okay, then you're going
No.
to learn, right?
Okay.
Then it's interesting because it's a really well, not curious thing, but I think that makes you think on how you can develop skills, all right? Skills that only great musicians had. But actually, even knowing that, it's hard for scientists, right, to understand what happens with that. But here you have interesting ideas with that. Here you have something related to that correlation, all right, here and here. You're going to understand then when you read. But it's not that long. Look, it's a total of 7, 8 pages, but the last page is just, this reference, but the rest of it is just this explanation. So it's not long, and you have this entire course to do it. All right. So you have that over there. You can download it, of course. Your report is going to be in general. I don't know if you worked with reading reports before, but it's just going to be like a summary, but stating, highlighting, and organizing the main points. All right, perhaps I'm going to give you like freedom in order to organize that report in the way that you want. But if until Monday I'm not going to find something interesting for absolute pitch to work a nice report, it's going to be free for you. All right, but again, it's going to be also an oral report. I don't know. Then again, if you have any last questions or comments about that, so that we can go to the other tasks that you're going to have. And I'm going to think if you're going to have 3 tasks. All right, you're going to let me know if you're going to agree with it. But what do you say? Any comments or questions before going to the next one?
With this task, no, I don't have questions.
Okay, all right. Now this is the last one. It's not even there. Okay, the first one you can find the template. You were able to see where, right? Then it was
Mhm.
courses information, reading material. Okay, the other one is not up there. The other one is in unit 4. Okay, you have to unit 4. This was a group assignment before, right? Because as I told you, I was working here at Executive English, right, since the very beginning, and it worked differently. That's why we had these speaking group presentations, writing group presentations. But now this group presentation is only going to be for you. It is not complex, but it's interesting. And actually, it's a good way of practicing something very close to what you do with the integrate writing that you have in the TOEFL. Of course, it's not the same, but it's an interesting way to organize your ideas in a writing exercise in an essay. Okay, let's please now, and I believe that the conflict is still going on. Of course, it is. Let me see. When did I publish it? In 22? Yes, of course, it was last year. So last year, right at the very beginning of the conflict, right between Russia and Ukraine, I decided to work on this. it is still valid and it's still something that we can do and we are going to do. So we're going to read together what you have to do. And this is also all right for not exactly the last day. I believe it is going to be for the penultimate day. So I can check, I can take a look at that. And in the last day, I can give you feedback. All right, so if the last day was the 23rd, the penultimate would be, of course, the 20th. So perhaps this is going to be for the 20th. Danitza, you give me time to check that. And the 23rd to finish with your report, your oral report for that article. I'm also going to give you feedback for this element. And perhaps you're also going to have another presentation. Okay, well, we're going to discuss that now, right now. But first, let's read what you have to do here so that this is also clear and well, you know what you have to do. So I'm telling you everything from the first day, right? It means that you have all these days to work little by little, all right? Little by little. Let's read, please. Just instructions. We know there's now a conflict going on between Russia and Ukraine, right? It's always important to see the two sides of the story. So let's read the instructions, please, Danita.
Okay. Right. I say that contains introduction, body, and conclusion about the Russia and Ukraine's conflict. The introduction should be one paragraph. The body should be paragraphs. The conclusion should be one paragraph. One body paragraph must contain information about Ukraine side, facts, and supporting ideas. You can talk about the independence and their decisions. The other body paragraph must contain information to be on Russian side, facts, and supporting ideas. You can talk about NATO and the core war if you want. Use at least two different articles to work with citations and support what you say with text. One per body paragraph. Follow the basic punctuation rules, including rules to use quotation marks when to use commas and points and breaks. For citations, use the following structure, meaning the article, meaning the author, and year.
Good. After that point, sorry, it means that you have to work with articles, with real articles, Danita. All right, even you're going to give me the references down below. You don't need to give me right up references, but you're at least going to give me the links, all right, from those articles. That's it. You don't have to give me again a specific reference. You don't need an order. You don't need to follow any format. It's just that I need the sources, all right. But again, and in total, you only need two sources, Danita. So this is not hard. It's going to be like 4 paragraphs. The 2 paragraphs in the middle that are going to be very complex, and both of them, right, need to have supporting ideas and facts. And actually, we have to, all right, work with citations, at least 2, right? That's what I'm asking as a minimum. And actually, also, it's the minimum to have 2 body paragraphs. If at the end you want to write more, and you give me 4 body paragraphs, all right, 2 for Ukraine, 2 for Russia, and you give me 4 citations, good, right? That's up to you. But again, the minimum that we need is 2 body paragraphs with at least 2 different online articles, all right, to work with citations. Here, of course, this is something that I had for the groups, and we are not going to take these elements into account, only this one over here, and perhaps this is going to limit your production. But this is going to be, what happened? I moved this. Sorry. This is not going to apply over here, but this is my recommendation. A good number of words for this work would be between 400 and 450 words. All right, but again, actually, if you want to work with more this time, it is not going to be a problem. All right, why? Because it is just to practice our writing skills and to try to apply everything we are going to be doing also this month. Actually, it will be kind of this month, but these last 8 classes that we got together. That's it. Again, now we're going to discuss about the possibility of something else according to some questions that I'm going to ask you. But do you have any questions about this exercise, actually this writing practice? That again is going to be for the 20th. All right, it is going to be for the 20th, and you have to upload it here. And actually, let's change that right now. All right, the due date will be Friday the 20th. All right, 11:59 p.m. Yes, that is good. All right, so what do you say, Vanessa? Any questions about this one?
Um, uh, and this conflict is to, you know, uh, have different aspects to, to bring her opinion about that, cultural, political, and other things. Um, can I just choose one and um, explain, a point of view about cultural? I would really like to use cultural aspects about to explain the paragraph or in the writing assignment.
You mean by that to only, for example, be in on Ukraine's side and to explain only everything from that side? That's
No,
what
no,
you
no,
mean?
no, 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 no. About culture. You have different points of view about this conflict because you can talk about, political issues,
Mhm.
cultural issues. I don't know,
Okay.
even issues. So
Okay.
I was wondering to try to, how can I say, cuadrante, to
Oh, all right. But
the
did you
limit.
just uh-huh.
Yes,
Yes,
I would like
just
to
to
use.
gather, to get together, or to, yes, yes, to, but remember one thing, we are talking about actually, right, the war, and we are trying to, right, understand why that's going on, and actually to understand why Russia is okay. I mean, how we can justify Russia's attacking Ukraine, and how we can justify being in Ukraine's side and to say it's not fair, or it's of course a war crime that Russia is doing this, right? So again, you can actually grab yourself from many different perspectives, right? From the cultural side point of view, you can grab yourself from the, I don't know, history, what happened with the previous, right, for example, Soviet Union. So you can talk about whatever you want, as long as, again, as in the essay, as a whole essay, you are trying to be on both sides. And again, then the main idea is to understand why they situate in these different, of course, very different sides in this war. It can be culturally related. You can talk about education if you want, but again, as you only have, I don't know if you're going to work with the minimum that I'm giving you, that is two body paragraphs with two citations. If that's the case, perhaps you're going to be limited, right? And you're only going to be able to show one thing for Russia, one thing for Ukraine, to give a short explanation, a short paraphrasing, and that's it. But if you get to, all right, get together a lot of things to make all of this make sense, if you get to do that in the, well, in these elements that I'm giving you, only two body paragraphs and so on, that's great. If you're really going to need more, right, to give more elements, you can also do it, Danita. But I'm not going to put any limits on what you can be focusing on. All right, again, as long as you're going to be saying, yes, in this word, they are doing this because of this and this and that. So I agree with them. That's why Russia is okay. And he or they, right, are justified, right? And they are attacking to Ukraine. And the same for the other side, right? But yes, if you can accumulate that, and it's going to work in a good number of words, but again, not trying to extend that much. Again, I believe that four body paragraphs is going to be like the limit in terms of an essay. But again, if you get to do all of that, and to mention a lot of variables to make us understand this complex, because it is, of course, complex. It is going to be good, all right? But you can only mention one thing that for you is going to be the most important to support Russia, and one thing that for you is the most important to support Ukraine, and that would be it. All right, that's what comes to my mind with the things that you were saying. But I don't know if you want to add some extra things over there, or if you were referring to something different. Let me know, please, Danitza.
Yes, I was thinking about two paragraphs, and if I want to explain different points of view or view of this conflict, I would say way more paragraphs. That's why I still need something like choose only one aspect to explain, because I think of how can I put this? I can use just only one. It's not an aspect. I don't know. I can use just only one area to talk about the conflict and how it's related with the situation, something like that. When I give this maybe. But that's
All
it.
right.
That's what it is,
Okay.
because I just only have prepared stuff. And I also think I will not have enough time to make a good, uh, a really nice job with this. I think I will try to uh, do it in the best way. But
Okay.
that's
All right. But what I'm getting over there again, but you are you going to be able to work on this contrast to be on
yes,
both
yes,
doing that?
yes, of course.
Mhm.
Don't worry.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. I mean, that's up to you. Again, it's not going to be because of the length limit that we got. Perhaps we cannot mention a lot of things, but yeah, do it in that way. Do your best, as long as again we're following these ideas, right? The one paragraph for the introduction and so on, and we are mentioning the two countries, and our main topic over there is going to be the war that's going on, but trying to justify Russia and then Ukraine. As long as that's there, I believe that what you choose to do and what you choose to talk about, it is going to be good.
Okay, thank
All right, no, you're welcome. There you go. So now we have one more thing, but what do you say? Is it good for you to work with these elements? I have one extra thing for you that actually it's now related to only speaking. But I also want to take into consideration, because I know that time can be a thing that plays right against us. So what do you say? Is it going to be okay? Because these two are things that we have to do. But this third is optional. I really want you to tell me now, according to how you see these weeks are for you. Do you think that you're going to be able to work on an oral presentation? Also, this is going to be for our last day. All right.
you.
It is
Mm-hmm.
going to be like not a short one. It's going to be kind of not even 10, perhaps a 15 minutes presentation. All right, oral presentation. You have to speak. I'm not going to say a word. You have to speak blah 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 blah, blah for 15 minutes. Okay, about something specific. And I'm going to tell you
Mm,
about that.
oh, maybe I could talk about Russian conflict, and we can do both.
Okay.
We
But
just, yeah,
that's going to be kind of cheating, right? I don't know.
not cheating, but I can say that I will mm, be able to do both things.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So in that way, you believe that you can work with both. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, I think
Okay. Let me think. Let me think. What do we have here? This was this. Okay. No. Yes. Let's do it. That was actually that was optional, right? You were able to say no. So instead of saying no, you're giving me that alternative. So yes, let's do it in that way. All right. We're just going to follow these recommendations. Well, more than recommendations. Of course, then you're going to read an article, not this article now, but an article related to the Russians conflict, right? But of course, in this case, it's not going to be one, at least two, right? One for Russia's right side and one for Ukraine's. But again, that's not going to be up to you, all right? Of course, you have to do the research to complement that idea, and you can explain, right, to me what's happening. You have to tell me everything, right? Of course, you have to use information because you're going to prepare a presentation. Okay, you're going to have a PowerPoint presentation, or if you use Genially, if you use Canva, right? If you use, I don't know, right? Whatever you use, you can use it. Okay, then you have to upload your presentation here as well. This is also the speaking presentation, group presentation. It is also in Unit 4 that needs to remember then that the writing task is here in Unit 4, the speaking task as well. And this is going to be for our last day. Okay, so delete that. And let's select the 23rd. Okay, but of course not for that time, right? At least you have to upload your presentation at the time or close to the time 9 p.m. All right? So before we start our class, so that you have your presentation here, I have access to your presentation, and then you just, right, give that presentation to me. So, what else? We were taking a look at that. Then, of course, you upload it, you know the due date. You have to share your screen. You have to turn on your camera, right? I need to remember, I was supposed to give a rule, but again, at the end, I was not able to to follow also my own rules. All right, but you at least that day you have to turn on your camera. Okay. Then, of course, there's no group, so the other elements are not going to apply for that one. Here again, doesn't apply. Doesn't apply. The format, as I told you, it can be again any format that you want. All right, no problem. But here, this is going to change. It's going to be 15 minutes. No, actually, we're going to stay with this. We're going to stay with this. It is going to be 10 minutes for your presentation. Okay, so you give me your blah, 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 blah for 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes straight. And then 5 minutes, not only for feedback, but I'm going to ask you questions. It's going to be 5 minutes for interaction, okay, a conversation that we're going to have, and also feedback, because I'm going to be taking notes. So first we have the conversation. At the end, I give you the feedback, and that's going to be it. So I don't know if you have any questions about this, then it's with this, we are finishing then the 3 things that you have to do for this course. You read an exercise, you read an article, right? You have to work on a report, writing a report, or a report. That's for the final day that we got. Okay, I didn't say that. I'm going to do it now. The second, your writing exercise, right? Do some research about Russia and Ukraine's conflict, right? You can focus on only one aspect or right thing that you want to mention over there. That's going to be your decision. And the speaking presentation that is also about that conflict, of course, you can complement that with some other things that you find on the net. But that's the basic thing that you should do. So I don't know if you have any questions about all those tasks, all those assignments that you have that are for the end, let's say, of the course.
Not a question, but maybe a suggestion, because we I don't know, we are going to. Do you think I am going to be able to speak and get the feedback about speaking, and then make the presentation and get the feedback about the presentation? Can I ask you just write those both activities or assignments?
Oh, one more time, please. Can you ask me what?
Yes, if we can separate the assignments of the speaking and the presentations about Russian, right? I mean,
Okay, what do you mean by by separate?
you told me that we are going to see this the last day, right? Symmetry, both activities.
I mean,
Or I didn't
the one,
understand.
because it's the writing part. The writing task is about the Russian conflict,
Uh-huh.
right? This is something you're going to present on Friday the 20th,
Oh, okay.
right? On Friday. You present that on Friday, so I have the weekend to check that information. And on Monday, that is the last day, you're going to give me your oral presentation also about the Russia conflict. Of course, you can
Mhm.
mention some elements that you have on your writing task, but it doesn't have to be everything, right? You have to complement with many other things, and that's going to be for Monday. But they are being considered as separate assignments, right? One assignment is the reading, the other assignment is the writing. The writing is for Friday, the reading is
Mhm.
for Monday, but it is going to be a report. Then the oral presentation that is
Oh,
also going to be on that Monday. Yes, to tell me, Danita.
okay. Uh, no, I don't. Sorry, I forgot. Friday, I will send my writing away.
Yes, as you can see, your writing assignments, that is about what we know,
Yes,
is October 20th. That's Friday. And this is for
yes.
October 23rd. That is Monday. In
Okay.
But they are like two separate things, of course, as you told me, because it's going to be now something you're going to be able to do. It is about the same topic, right? But of course, it's going to be something different because I'm going to be expecting something different as well, right? Again, you can integrate this information, but the information that you have in your writing exercise, in your writing document, it's not going to be all that you're going to mention in or you're going to mention over here, right? Because that can be part of one example, right? But I imagine that as you have 10 minutes, you're going to give me more information about history, right? What happened with Russia many years before and Ukraine, what happened with the independence, right, of all those countries that are surrounding Russia now that were part of the Soviet Union, what happened with the treaty, right, that they stated with United States, right? What happened with all those rules that they established, right, from the Cold War or at the end of the Cold War to avoid conflict? Who started breaking the rules, or what conflict?
Oh my God.
Those ideas, okay? I'm giving you ideas, but you can talk about those details, all right? But again, I'm saying those things, but you can say that in less than 5 minutes, perhaps. If you summarize that quickly, that's 5 minutes. So you need 5 more minutes to give me more ideas. All right. And of course, it doesn't have to be fast, right? Blah, 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 so you finish everything in 2 minutes or three. No, a, a good pace, right? Tell me something clear. Again, good pace, not that slow, of course, but and remember, I didn't mention that because I work, all right. I usually working with Pearson for me is not the best thing in terms of evaluating everything in the way I would like to evaluate. I don't know if it's here. It is here, but I don't know why the rubric is not here. Yes, I'm going to take this into account, I believe, in okay. This is more or less what I'm going to reevaluate. There are more things, all right, but I'm going to be evaluating these elements, and this is going to be one important one. This is the reason why I opened this paraphrasing. Okay, why? Because your presentation is going to be there, right? Of course, just to give you some important elements to remember what you want, what you have to say, right? It can be a picture or just a sentence or even a phrase or a list of things, and then you start talking about those things, right? But it is not going to be in this case something that you have to read. right? So you really need to be ready in that sense. You need to have information that you know you're going to remember. You don't need to use, right, all that vocabulary that you're going to find on those articles. That's why it says paraphrasing, right? You can paraphrase that. You can state all of that in those words, in your own words. And everything that I was mentioning before, right, it can be easily understood. If you look for a video right on YouTube, you're going to understand everything that I told you and even more. You're going to have all that information. It's just going to be, right, preparing a summary, and those 10 minutes are going to be easy. And you can even, right, give some of your opinion over there, examples, comparisons with other countries. You can do it in the way that you want. All right, but again, the idea and why I'm showing you this, because this is also what I'm going to be evaluating that day. Okay, and that same day I'm going to give you this feedback. All right, in pronunciation, the words that you need to improve in that sense, the vocabulary, mainly that. We had some other elements, but at least these three are the ones I'm going to take into account, and this as well. All right, there is a rule that I established that, again, I don't have the template over here, or perhaps it is here. Just give me 1 second, please. It must be here, individual presentation. Yes, here's one with rubric. Okay, this is usually what I do when I evaluate individual presentations, right, for speaking. I evaluate pronunciation, right? It's going to be like this, all right? 15 points, let's say, and you are losing five, or even a little bit less, but you're losing a lot. The minimum that you, or the minimum that you can have is 2 mistakes. Then if you get to have more, between 2 and 5, you get 10 only. Between 5 and 8, only 5. Between 8 and 12, only 2.5, and so on, right? You are going to be losing some score over there. Then vocabulary, conjugation, and structures, right? How you conjugate your ideas, if the structure that you're using for your ideas are well established and organized, and so on and so forth. All right. The paraphrasing that I told you is important because it's obvious, right? That's why I also need you to be with your camera, right? I need to be your expression. I know, I know, right? I know how I'm going to be working with you. I work with you already. We don't need to do that. We don't need that control, but it's going to be always some interesting elements to see how you're managing yourself in that sense. All right. Then questions, because remember, 10 minutes for your presentation, 5 minutes for interaction. I'm going to ask you some questions myself. Then respecting the time, that is going to be 10 points more or less. If it is 10 minutes, I always give like 30 seconds, all right? 30 seconds window. That can be less or more than that time. It means 9 minutes and 30 seconds, it's okay. 10 minutes and 30 seconds is okay. Any less or more than that is going to make you lose some score, all right? And the instructions, right, it refers where we using the camera, where we able to upload our presentation, where we able to organize a presentation only to remember what we have to say and not to read, right, everything we got over there, and so on and so forth. Okay, but again, I'm showing you all of this information that needs so that you know in what way I'm going to be evaluating and analyzing what you're going to be doing in that sense. All right, again, that was extra, but it is something that I wanted to mention. Now, with all of that now in general, I don't know if you have any other or final questions or comments.
I'm scared.
No, come on. Don't take it like that. If I mention that, actually, that's going to be mainly for you. All right, it is going to be for you, because actually, and again, I'm going to ask you this because we're still working with Pearson. Actually, and you're going to tell me this because I can make a decision on that, but you tell me, the score can still be 100% Pearson. It means as long as you work with Pearson, you complete everything you get, because again, I don't want to affect your score. That's the listing, right? The list that I want to do. So we can still with Pearson, and again, we're going to do this, but the thing that I'm saying is that only Pearson is going to have the value in terms of score. But I'm going to evaluate this, but actually it's going to be just personal feedback that is not going to affect your score. Okay, that's one option. Or do you prefer that this is also part of your evaluation and this is also going to be part of the 100 points, and Pearson is going to be a percentage and this is going to be another percentage? Okay, that's up to you. Well, what do you think is better for you? And I'm not going to get mad or anything. Again, to me, the main thing and why I'm doing this is not even for the score or anything like that, right? It's just to help you with some details. Okay, so what do you say? Well, what do you prefer?
The second option that we can, I don't know, I can know an opinion about the percentage of the percentage in which.
Okay, and what do you have in mind? We can talk about that now because again, as you are working in this last course, I believe that is something that we can decide on together. Because again, actually, the thing that we can do is just working with Pearson. But as you're choosing the second option, well, what's the thing that you have in mind? What do you
I
think
don't
is
have
a good
anything in mind.
percentage? You don't have anything
Only
in
just
mind?
any suggestions, then I will try to. I don't know.
Okay, because I worked in this way before. Let me see what I did. Give me a second.
Okay.
It must be here. Because again, I worked in many different ways. And actually, this is a structure that I proposed to the program because I told them that only Pearson is not good, that we should establish
Yes, I
something like
don't know
this.
how. I mean, my last score here, or last model is my 4, and I did today the 4 exams, and I don't know.
Okay. So you're telling me that you didn't study, Anita?
Yes, I mean, I don't. I did it before also, so that I don't know. You're a good teacher. That's why I can recall things.
Okay,
Well,
okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Danitza. And look, now this is an alternative. And this is what I was doing, but not everything is here. The reading, for example, is not included here, but actually we can look some of course we can add something for reading as well, or we can integrate reading into writing for the writing report and speaking for the oral report. That's up to you. But look, this is the way in which I divided this when I was working on that prototype, let's say. Pearson was only 50%, and it was only in general assignments and exams. All right, that was 50%. Then the writing, of course, you don't have all these elements for writing. In your case, it will be only your individual task. All right, that will be the total of 25. Also for speaking, you don't have the conversation. This is, again, all the things that I used to have, individual presentations and the group presentations, right? But in your case, it is only going to be these group individual presentations. Okay, so individual task for writing, 25, individual task for speaking, 25, and this 50. But again, it could be also 50-50, but it is going to be divided into 3, right? And again, I don't know what you want to put more emphasis on according to what you believe that you're going to be paying more attention to. And according to that, I'm going to divide this differently, taking also the reading exercise into account, right? But remember, to really make the reading exercise work, we shouldn't work with translators or anything like that, right? The idea is trying to understand that in the most raw, let's say, raw way possible, and trying to get as much as we can and explain what we were able to understand, right? Without any extra help. Of course, we can use dictionaries, okay? No problem with that, but not translators. All right, yes, dictionaries, but of course, English dictionaries and so on. If that's going to be the work with reading, I can also give it an equal percentage to that one than it's. But again, it is going to be up to you, because my idea would be, if it's going to be with some extra help and you're going to be working with some other things, it would be 20-20 and reading 10. But again, I don't even know if this looks ideal for you because Pearson would only be 50 and then 50 the division of those 3 tasks that you got. But what do you say? You can give me any opinion that you got. Are you still alive, Danitza? Okay. So what do you say?
I think we can maintain the percentage here, like 50% and the other three tasks dividing your half into your half. Yes.
Okay. And do you agree with that one? It would be writing 20, speaking 20, and reading 10 only? Or do you prefer to just get the statistics or do some math to have equal percentage for the 3 of them?
Equal percentage.
All right. Okay, good. Yes, no problem then. All right, so that's what we're going to do. All right, that is what we're going to do for this last course. And again, it's going to be a challenge for you because you know, right? You know that Pearson sometimes is easier, and I agree with that. Because when someone, right, just passes on Pearson, I know good, and it's great because it needs time, right? You need time over there. And of course, we cannot also say that that's useless. It works in a certain way, but of course, there are even better ways or other ways in which we can complement that one to make it work in well, to enhance, right, the way in work it affects or it influences our skills. But then that's what we're going to do. All right. Then with that, we are clear. It would be then that I don't know if I here have the defeat division. Yes, but we're not going to use a lot of that information. I'm just going to get the scores of those 3 elements then, Panitza, and I'm going to get them into the document that we use. But of course, for this last course, the document is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to also mention that to management. But that's quite it. I don't know if you have any last questions or comments with that. We now agreed on something that is, I believe, something very important in terms of this last course. And we didn't get to do that much, but I told you, right, as it was going to be the beginning of the last course, perhaps we're going to spend the time on working on these details, and we were not even going to be able to work on the next presentation for writing, right? I told you that one, and that's what's happening. But again, I don't know, just in case, do you have any other questions, any details? Because now I'm going to go to Pearson to now actually assign, because we still have to assign these elements. And it's going to be only 50%, right? And I'm not going to assign everything this time because now we have the speaking part that is going to be evaluated twice in the reading, right? And as the oral report and in the speaking presentation, all right? So that's why that's going to be your practice. Of course, if that serves, and I believe it works, Danitza, it is going to be there, the speaking part, the exercises, the active exercises of speaking and pronunciation to repeat, they are going to be there for you, but they are not going to be obligatory to complete in this specific course. All right, so again, I'm going to be doing that. Let me know questions or comments that you got.
I have a
Yes.
question. I'm
Uh-huh.
already exhausted, I think so. My brain is just thinking about the next 2 weeks.
Thinking about your what?
My next 2 weeks, 8 classes, 3 kind of
Okay.
reports. Yes.
All right. All right, but you don't have questions. Everything is clear and you agree with everything, right?
Yes.
All right, good. Now again, remember, I'm assigning absolutely everything. Well, actually, not absolutely everything. the usual, but again, I'm taking aside, right, the elements for speaking, not everything, but these two elements, the elements that you have to repeat and record, they are not going to be a requirement, at least in this last course. All right. But again, as I'm doing this, because it sometimes takes 5 minutes, something like that, it's important that then we take advantage of this time. If you take a look at the elements, we have some interesting lessons also in this course. And it's related to the past conditional. I don't know what you remember about that, because I believe that you know about the conditionals, right? Do you know the usage of the past and real conditional, the mixed conditional with the present, and also the advanced inversion for the past and real conditional? What do you know about all those details as I'm working on these assignments? Don't ignore me, please, Danita.
Give me a minute, please.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm kidding. All right. Just tell me what you remember. Where's the? Okay, this is the one.
I know that there are like four kind of if conditionals, and well, and the last model I use the first conditional with where if something in the present will in the future, we're going in the future.
Okay.
So I have that in mind, and I also know that you can express wishes and regrets. I think with conditionals. Yes, I think that's what I know. If you ask me about the structures, I'm not sure.
Okay. What about? All right. So if I say, just to give me, all right, if I ask you to give me an example in the present and real conditional, do you know what you can give me? What is for you? What do you think is the present and real conditional first?
And it's something that you something like you wish, but it's not supposed to be happen, or it's not probably to happen right now.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, please. Sorry, Benita.
Yes, that's
okay. And what example can you give me in the present and real conditional?
If if I have, I don't know, if it is going to be all fixed, but if I have, you know, if I have, long hair, I will be able to donate some.
One more time. If I had, right? You said that in present, right? If I had long hair,
yes,
I would.
I will be able to donate some parts of them.
Okay. All right. Yes. Yes, it makes sense. I would be able to, right? I would, or you can use directly, right, the verb if you want without be able to, right? I would do this, right? Donate or what you have in mind. Okay. All right. Yes, yes, it is valid. And again, it is unreal. It can be right because it's very unlikely, right, to happen, or because actually it's impossible, right, to happen because it's not true, it's not reality. Right? For example, if I
Mm,
say if I had blue eyes, right, I think that I would, I don't know, right, get to have a lot of girls, I can say, for example, right? I don't know, but that's not possible. I can change the color of my eyes, right? So it can be something hard to change or something impossible to change, but that's why it is going to be considered unreal, right? There you go. Yes, and you know the logic. Good. But now the one that we're going to pay attention even more here is the past unreal. So now what can you tell me about the past unreal condition of it?
mm, I suppose it's something that you have you have possibility to change in the past, and you want to say something about it.
Okay. Uh-huh. Yes, I mean it's something, of course it's impossible to change absolutely anything that happened, right? So you only want to work with what? For example, what type of ideas can you express with the past unreal condition? You can give me one example and you tell me, for example, this is this type of idea.
Mm, uh, uh, something like if I have known her character, something like that. I
Huh? And
will,
one more time, please. I couldn't hear very well the auxiliary. Let's repeat one more time and let's put a little bit more emphasis on the auxiliary that you're using.
if I have
Mhm.
known her character, her behavior, so I don't know, something like
Okay.
that.
Okay. What's the result of that one?
Uh, I will have avoid her.
Okay, but I would have avoid that's going to be incorrect if it's the past participle. What's the past participle of avoid?
Avoid it. I'm not sure.
Exactly. Huh? Well, what's the rule? Remember, that's an important rule that actually has to be
Will
known by heart with you. Uh-huh. What's the rule? When do you make the et more noticeable? And when do you say t or d when you have ed?
with the because I'm uh I didn't catch your idea.
Okay, yeah, so do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
so you say right, avoid but avoided. What did you say there? You said that it's not sure when why you have to say it like that, or when do you have to pronounce it like that? That's what you said, right?
No,
Or what did?
uh, I wasn't sure about the passport people avoid. I was guessing avoided them.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
because
So you were not sure if it was regular.
yes, yes.
Okay, okay, yes, no. So it is regular, right? But you know, right? The rules for when you have to pronounce the ed as ed, as t, and so on.
Uh,
Right?
sure,
When you
no.
say et and when you say t, when you have ed.
Uh, there's something with the um, vocals. I don't know. Uh,
For example, this word over here, right in C1. How do you read this word?
uh, can say, celebration. Can say, can, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Okay, no, this could not do it. I know that you do it, but you're overthinking, right? You're overthinking now because I told you, right, to pay attention to the ED. But if I would, right, if I hadn't said that to you, right, you wouldn't have thought or overthought that. and you would have said that naturally, right? But just read it, okay? Try to just read it. Try not to think and read it.
Mhm. Oh, I'm sorry. I can do it. Celebration. Can cancel.
So you have to be clear, right, about that. So it's good. It's good that we're saying this now, because that's something that you have to know by heart, right? So the rule is very easy, Dennis, and it's good that you always have to make me know those details, right? I of course misunderstood what you told me before, but we got to this, and it's also important, right? So the last consonant. What's the last consonant before the ed?
And cancel. Still. See. See. The TV.
And the last consonant is the L, right? Cancel finishes in
Also.
L.
Mm. Okay.
L. So that's the last consonant before the ed, right? So is the L something that creates conflict with the phoneme t, with the sound t? If you say
Yeah.
cancelled, is there a conflict, or is it possible to pronounce that without misinterpretation?
Explain me this before. I know. Don't have any trouble with
Exactly, no trouble, right? So vowels, not vowels, consonants like L that are kind of soft consonants, right? That are not going to be strong. They are not going to be fighting or creating conflict with the T sound when you have regular verbs, right? In that case, you simply use the main rule, that is the T sound, right? Cancelled, played, right? Mm, what else do you have in mind? Even k, even the k from like, even that k is not as strong to create a conflict with t. That's why you say liked, right? Liked, but we don't say like it, right? So again, if you don't have a consonant that creates conflict, that actually two are the main ones, right? What are the two consonants that create conflict with d or t, with that t sound?
um, I suppose another T or another D there.
Exactly. Exactly. If the previous consonant to that, right? So you know that again, right? So you know that you're just overthinking the things, and there, right? You create conflict on things that I know that you know, right? So if you have a D or a T, of course you're not going to say permitted, right? Permitted. It's impossible, right? So if you have permit, of course it has to be permitted, right? The D in the past. If you have omit, it has to be omitted, right? If you have state, it has to be stated, right? All those ideas are just going to me. And again, I'm mentioning that because you have to be very, very sure about that. So here it's always going to be always cancelled, right? A cancelled celebration, right? There's no way in which this is going to be pronounced as it. There's not going to be a case in that specific word. But again, that's something extra I wanted to mention, because again, I misunderstood what you told me, but also you show me that here you were not sure. I don't know if you have questions or comments about that, or why you didn't feel so sure about that word, Danica.
Um, right now I wasn't ready for your question. Right now I'm not ready, but yes, I am trying to, I don't know, take my mind map.
Okay, okay, so perhaps
Yeah,
you're tired
well,
right now, right? Are you
just
tired
a
right
little
now?
bit. Yes, for exams today, you can see terminus each one.
Okay, yes, no worries. Again, you also have to tell me that, right? You have to tell me, because it's important, because I can notice that, but I really need you to tell me. Okay, there's no problem. I know again that you know all these things. It's just that, I really have to, if I identify something, I really have to go there, right? And try to help you out. And it's not because I want perfect answers. I really want to spot that. And if I know, also I recognize that you know, it's just something that I reinforce and then we leave it aside. All right?
Okay.
All right, good. No, you're welcome. Again, you can tell me anything, you know. I'm always going to understand, but I need to know. If I don't know, but I imagine, I know that you are here with me after working and after always long days, and it's hard. I know, and I always make you stay with me until late, so it's also right something that creates even more right of this sensing of tiring. But we are done with that. If you were paying attention, all the due dates are the 24th. Okay, we finished on the 23rd, but you got until the 24th, Tuesday, October the 24th. That is, well, again, Tuesday, to finish everything. If you also you were able to see, because I already told you as well, that I'm not including those exercises in which you have to report yourself, because we already have the speaking presentation plus the oral report. That is going to be part of the 50%, so that is more than enough, and even it's way better than just recording. But that's it. That's it. Today we're going to finish with that. I don't know if you have any questions. We didn't get to see anything in specific, but at least I was able to identify some details. And just going back to the past and real conditional, you have the structure, right? Past perfect, perfect model, right? If I had done this, I would have obtained that, right? So past perfect, perfect model, it works very well. And you also have mixed conditionals, right? In which you can have past and real, right? Clause and present and real clause. And it's also valid as long as it makes sense, as long as it is logic and in terms of time, right? Of course, it is also logic, it's going to work. But that's going to be some things that we're going to see. We're not going to check, of course, all the lessons as we've been doing in these last courses, only the main ones, the ones that deserve our attention. And then we're going to continue with the writing extra presentations. This time we have to go to the essay structure. To me, this is going to be the most important one because it is going to integrate everything. All right, the punctuation marks, the fun with coordinating conjunctions, the transitional words, and all the rules that we know for them, and the logic on how to use them. All of that is going to be integrated over here. All right, so that's it. I don't know if you have any last things, Danitza.
No. I don't have questions.
I imagine that
No.
you're laughing because you're very tired, right, Danitza? You
Um,
are. You tell me?
yes. Yes. It's a little tired.
Okay, I'm kidding, right? No, it's okay. Good. So it's great. It means that everything is ready, everything is set on Pearson. Please, I don't remember. I believe that we had some things to check, right? I don't know if you were able to work on something to show me. Of course, right now we're not going to take a look at that. It's going to be for Monday. But did you have some elements to work on? You had, right? We're going to check that on Monday because you had some
I will.
examples.
I will try.
You
Yes.
you worked on them? Do you have them
Yes.
or you don't have them? You have them.
I have. I did
Great.
it.
But we're going
Just
to
an
save them
hour
for
ago.
Monday.
Okay.
All right, on Monday directly, just in case you give a second look at it. Take a look if you have any things you have to check or correct. But on Monday we start with that, and we start also with some of the lessons. But that's it. Thanks again. Again, it's getting late. Let's go to sleep. Uh, and it's all right. I'm sending the poll. You have it over there. All right, there you go. So that's it. Yes, that's it. Okay, this time that's it. Have a good night. All right, you have sleep. I hope you really do sleep very well, and tomorrow you have a better day without too many things to do. You enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night, Anita.
Good night.
Bye bye.